Hello everyone, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be going over some crypto tips and tricks, as well as a just general guide on how to play crypto. And we're going to be going from basically some of the basic tips all the way to more advanced ones. So before I get into the video, I do want to say that about 94% of you guys are not actually subbed. That's a crazy number, and we're just trying to get that up. I've been really appreciating all the support that's been coming to the channel lately. I just want to thank you guys right now. If you're not already subbed, just drop a quick sub. It'll help me out a ton. So let's get into the video. First thing we got to look at is Crypto's kit. So his passive is Neuralink, and Crypto and his teammates see what his surveillance drone detects up to a 30-meter distance. And then he has the surveillance drone. Deploy an aerial camera drone, 40-second cooldown if destroyed, and then the EMP. Charge up an EMP from your drone. The blast deals 50 shield damage, slows players, and destroys traps. So first we're going to just talk about his passive. His passive is pretty much like the same thing as his drone. So we're just going to talk about the drone, and then we'll talk about the ultimate. So the drone has multiple uses. You can use it to scout people, as you can see. From pretty far distances away. It says 30 meters. But that also accounts for height. So if you're too high, that's probably the first tip I have. Just don't be so high in the air trying to get like an aerial view, because you'll actually just end up not actually scanning anybody in the area. So you just want to be careful that your drone isn't too high, but you also don't want it to be too low, because it could mess you up. Another tip for Crypto's drone is that I'm sure you guys already know, but in the occasion that your teammates die, you can use the drone to grab banners. You can also use the drone to open supply bins, open doors, and loot an area if you don't actually want to loot it, in terms of supply bins at least. But the drone can't pick anything up obviously, but it can scout an entire area and loot it pretty quick. So if you want to do that instead of looting it with Crypto, if the area is potentially dangerous, you can get away with looting the entire area while sitting inside of a house and being safe. You can open bins, look at floor loot, just scout out what you actually need, and then go directly to the spot where you found it. So that's definitely a pretty good feature about Crypto that I feel like a lot of people underutilize. It's just the fact that he can actually loot extremely safely. That's bonus. Like, obviously this is, it's extreme measures. You don't have to do that. It's just if you think there might be people in the area and looting might potentially be dangerous, but you do need some stuff, just scout it out with Crypto. So another thing for all the ranked players, and this is probably like a glitch honestly, and they might have actually patched it. I'm not entirely sure, because I'm not a big crypto player, but I know that say that like this guy and this guy were fighting, right? And this guy drops dead. If I EMP or am looking at this guy and scanning him, I get the assist for it. So in that sense, Crypto's kind of broken, because you can get maximum points every single time in ranked and help you rank up very, very quickly. So that's one pretty solid tip for Crypto, is if you are forced to play solo, your teammates die or whatever, and you're still in ranked and you're just trying to play for placement, just send the drone out, send it everywhere, and just look at people, third party with the EMP, because you'll get the assist points for it if the entire team dies. If you EMP the whole team and they all die, you'll get the assist points for it. So another thing is, when you're throwing your drone, you just want to, you want to be a little bit careful of where it actually comes out of, because a lot of times I've found Cryptos just by seeing where their drone comes out of, and I've been able to literally track them down and kill them while they're in their drone, just because they sent it out directly from where they're coming from. So like if he's hiding in a corner like this, like the idea is to not just go straight out, and just like be very, very predictable, but instead you want to just maybe loop around and come out this way, so that just in case anyone's watching, obviously this is nothing like too special, but it's just in the occasion that someone actually is watching, because I know for a fact I have killed tons of Cryptos this way. Like, this is not like a one-time thing. I've done this to Cryptos a lot. When they'll send out a drone, I'll actually go looking for them, because usually they don't do that. They just send their drone out and send it in one direction, and I'll capitalize on that and find them while they're still in their drone. So another tip we have for the drone is just always recall it. Just make sure you get in the habit of doing that, because it takes a second to recall it, and if it gets shot down, it has that 40-second cooldown. So you don't want it lingering in an area that it doesn't need to be. Another thing about the drone is the actual placement of it. So what I mean by this is you can use the drone. When you're placing it, you don't want to put it too high, but you also want to like connect it to a wall so it's kind of out of sight. Something like that, just giving it a little bit of cover. It's nothing too special. It's also high enough up, like you can probably even go a little higher. It's high enough up to a point where it will scout a good distance of the area, but the actual placement of it is important as well, because what you ideally want to do is cover an area like that you're surveying. Say you're holding down an area, you want to have the drone in your blind spot, or in the spot that you don't actually want to look at. So what I mean by this is, if my team is holding up here, and we're looking over here, you want to put the drone like over there maybe, so that no one can come up from behind you, or like over here so like no one can zip line on you. You just want to cover the spots you're not looking at. You want to cover your flanks with the drone, so that way if it gets shot out, if people go by it, they will end up being spotted, and you'll know they're there, and you won't get flanked or shot in the back. So you'll actually have a little advantage. So another example of this would be, we'll say this is the cave. That's a popular spot. You just put the drone in the cave, and something like this, and then that way, if it gets destroyed or whatever, if they're coming through there, it'll spot them, or they'll either destroy it. You want to put the drone in a position where there's no other way around it. So if they're coming up to flank you, they will not actually be able to get around it without shooting it. And if they shoot it, obviously you're going to know they're there, and you're going to be able to move. So let's talk about the EMP. And I'm not a big crypto main, like I said before. I've seen him played a lot at a high level, and I've played him a lot. I have the Tony bomb on him and everything, but I don't play him a ton. So if I'm missing out on something, just comment it below. These guides are more for players that aren't already a crypto expert. These aren't going to be like the secret tip that's going to make you the best crypto in the world, but they will definitely help you out if you are not already doing them. So let's talk about the EMP. The EMP is very, very important. It's what makes crypto so good. So basically for the EMP, you want to keep in the back of your mind that the EMP disables like everything. Okay, it stuns people, disorients them. It takes 50 shield, and you can no longer drop it or anything. People can't armor drop and pick it back up because it destroys all shields in the area. So even if there's a supply bin with a white shield in it and someone tries armor swapping, they will no longer be able to, because the EMP will actually break it. So for the EMP itself, it also disables all Wattson traps, but not Wattson's ult. It also disables all caustic traps and Gibraltar's bubble. And that is very, very important, and I will tell you guys why exactly. As you know, the Gibraltar is pretty much the meta right now. Tons of people are using him, and tons of people are using their bubble with the airstrike as a popular combo. But what people do not realize is that as crypto, as this guy right here, if you go in and you EMP that bubble, you will literally destroy it, and Gibraltar's airstrike will kill him. And I feel like nobody's doing this for some reason. I don't know, maybe people are. I haven't seen it really be done, but it will, like, say you knock somebody and Gibraltar puts down his dome and starts reviving them. Like, that's a common strategy for Gibraltar. You see it literally all the time. And say you're not in a position to push, because obviously his ultimate, and if you push in the dome, you're going to get destroyed. So you really, really can't push a Gibraltar all the time. But if you EMP his bubble, you're EMPing everybody inside of the bubble, you're stunning them, the bubble is going to collapse, and the ult is going to kill Gibraltar. And then you'll be able to push right after that, because then the guy that he revived will be pretty much one shot, and Gibraltar will be down, so it's like a free win. And that's obviously a little bit situational, but it happens all the time. I mean, that combination where Gibraltar drops the bubble and then ults is like a very, very common thing for Gibraltar mains. It's something that they all do. So another thing in terms of using his ultimate is in the aggressive way. There's another way, obviously the defensive way, and we'll talk about that after. But in terms of the aggressive way, you want to make sure you're using it right. So we'll say we're trying to infiltrate this building right here, and it really doesn't matter if there's caustic traps in there, Watson traps, because they all break after your EMP. But you want to make sure, and I feel like this is what a lot of crypto mains mess up on, you want to make sure you're in proximity to the actual building. So what I mean by this is you want your team ready to push in the building. You want to be back, like, just a little bit. As you can see here, you don't want to be back too much, because by the time you get there, your team will already be fighting and you'll be very, very late. And you don't want to be too close, because if you're standing right outside the door, the EMP is going to hit you, and you don't want that. So instead, you stand relatively close, and then that way you can EMP the whole building. And look how fast I was able to get back to it, and push into it. So you just want to make sure you're in good range. Make sure you're safe, obviously, before you go into your drone, because you don't want to get destroyed. So you just want to make sure that you're close enough to a point where you can back up your teammates when they need you, but also be out of range of your own EMP. So another way of using the EMP is actually the defensive way. And basically how you do it is if you're running from people. This particularly occurs when you're running from people. You hit the drone, you come out of it, and then you EMP. And by the time you get out of the range, you will have hit the people chasing you, and they'll be disoriented. You'll be able to run away, and it works pretty effectively. You just got to get it down to a science. So basically, all you have to do for that to work is, you go into your drone, slide, and then hit L1 again, and hit the EMP. But you got to make sure you do it perfectly, because if you don't get out of the drone, you're just going to end up screwing yourself over. So you want to be very, very careful of that. You want to be quick. You can easily be messed up, so you just got to be moving when you do it. Otherwise, you will mess it up. It's very, very effective for stopping people from pushing, and it's probably crypto's, realistically, it's probably crypto's only method of defense or getting away. So another feature I want to talk about crypto is the new feature that they just added for him, and that is the ability to reload both of your weapons, or just one of your weapons. I think it is just one while you are in the drone itself. So as you can see here, I have a Wingman with 4 shots, and I have an R99 with 15. So if I go into my drone, as you can see here, I'm gonna come out, and boom. So you actually can reload both of them if you just press triangle. So he will reload these automatically, and that can be very, very effective. That's definitely a pretty cool buff that they added to him. It seems small, but it can literally save your life if you accidentally forget to reload and you end up getting someone pushes you or something. You can come out with a full clip of both of your weapons. So just make it a habit to, when you're going into your drone, just press triangle twice. Just make sure that it's completely reloaded, and you can't just go in and out. As you can see, that doesn't work. But instead, you can actually hear him doing it. I wonder if there's an animation. There is not an animation. Okay, well, either way, the guns reload. So just get in the habit of pressing triangle twice, reload both of your weapons, so that way, even if they're not reloaded, even if they are reloaded or full ammo, just make sure you get in the habit of doing it, because you never know, and it's better to be in that mindset rather than to, not have your guns reloaded or something like that. So another method of actually using the EMP, and this is probably the one that you're not going to use really a lot, and that's just detonating it with your R1, L1. So you can actually use the detonating in a pretty effective way as well. It's not used as much, and you're really not going to use it a ton, but it can be used in this method, where instead you set the drone up first, and then you get in range of the thing, you hit the EMP, and then you push into the building, so that way you can see the actual range of it. You can see exactly where it is going to be, so you can be more in striking distance when you actually hit it. And it really is honestly personal preference. If you find yourself EMPing yourself a bunch, just try the remote method, where you just hit R1, L1, because it could end up helping you out a lot, and you could be a little bit more equipped to get inside the building, but you just have to make sure your drone doesn't actually get shot out, because you're going to be leaving it there before you push. So I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered most of the things that are included in Crypto's kit, and all the tips and how to play him as well. So like I said before, if I forgot anything, just comment it below. I will probably pin the best tip that is commented, or if I think of one, I will pin it myself. But either way, that's pretty much it for today's video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.